We are currently witnessing the Straw Hats' greatest defeat in the story 28 years later. The last time a villain destroyed the Mugiwaras this easily was Enel, and that was before Luffy had Haki. Now, Luffy's one of the emperors, and the crew just defeated the Beast Pirates and clashed with the 5 Gorosei. Yet now, they're fighting just one person, and in a single chapter we can see the colossal gap between Imu's power and the Straw Hats. And to be honest, I like it. It means we're entering a new level of the story, and the Straw Hats will need to become much stronger than they currently are. Also, it was clear from the very beginning. Skopper Gaban said that he's never felt Haki like Emu's, not even in the God Valley incident, and you all remember what happened there. 6 of the strongest characters of the previous era, including monsters like Goldie Roger, Roxy Zebek, Monkey D. Garp, and Edward Newgate, could not even scratch Emu with their combined attack. And Emu wasn't even in his real body, he was using Saturn's body, which means he wasn't using his full power at God Valley. Now the Straw Hats are facing Emu's original form, and what we saw in this chapter is probably not the greatest news for Zoro and Sanji fans. But before we get into that, it's important to say that it's not even surprising. Being defeated so easily by the strongest character in the verse is completely normal. I don't even think Loki or Luffy would have much higher chances of winning. Let's start from the beginning. In mere seconds, Emu cut off Gerd's fingers and Stanson's leg, saved Summers, all while dodging and attacking Zoro. If we pay close attention to this panel, we can see that Emu noticed Zoro for a brief moment, then continued attacking the giants without even looking back at him. Emu didn't even acknowledge one of the strongest swordsmen in the story. As I mentioned, something like this hasn't happened since Skypiea, where Enel effortlessly defeated Zoro. Emu used an attack called Omen to defeat him, and it seems Oda went fully into a spiritual direction with this ability. The hand sign he's using is called Gyan Mudra, symbolizing becoming one with the universe, the union of the individual soul with the supreme soul. It's also known as the Mudra of Knowledge, which suggests that Emu may be using the soul itself as his primary power. The black flames that Emu conjures are also called Omen. The kanji used for this symbol translate to demonic power and can be read as Maki. Both Emu and Zoro use a form of demonic aura. Zoro's is written as Kiki, while Emu's is written as Maki. Instead of a regular burning flame on his back, Emu has a ring of fire similar to Azura. I'm not sure about Zoro, but Emu's fire feels like that of a Lunarian who has ascended and fully awakened his flames. This strange flame circle is far more important than we might think. It's another parallel to Enel, and we've already seen that Enel could use his electric ring for extremely powerful attacks. And while Enel's circle had drums, Emu's is covered in eyes, suggesting that his power will be far greater. Maki could also serve as a parallel to Haki. While Haki represents willpower, Maki represents demonic power. Could this be the introduction of an evil form of Haki? Additionally, the Omen Flame and the Mother Flame may be two polar opposites. Emu uses the Omen Flame, while Luffy may eventually gain his own flame, the Flame of the Sun, similar to the Mother Flame. This could explain why Saturn was hurt by the Mother Flame and why Emu desires it so badly. It might be his greatest counter. Emu also used the same Omen power to heal Summers, and we even saw a halo appear above Summers' head. This reminds me of the figures in the mural, who also had similar circles above their heads. We can speculate that the 20 kings in the murals were under the Omen spell, that Emu empowered and controlled them. But as we know, not all 20 became the Celestial Dragons, only 19 did. The Nefertari family refused to join them, so maybe this is what actually happened. The other 19 kings were under Emu's control, but Emu did not use Omen on Lily because he loved her. That could explain why some of his plans ultimately failed. Lily betrayed Emu or simply refused to support his evil ambitions. She chose Joy Boy, and even if defeat was unavoidable, she still managed to spread the poneglyphs around the world, hoping that someday someone would decipher these ancient stones and use that knowledge to defeat Emu. Also, Emu having a similar height to Edward Newgate is very interesting. When Oda hinted at Emu's introduction, he said that this character, Emu, had some kind of connection to Whitebeard. The Gorowawaze of Nerona is 267, and this number is not random. Do you remember that Whitebeard died from 267 sword wounds? I like how Whitebeard appeared in only one arc for around 30 chapters, yet remains one of the most important characters in the story. Now let's get back to the chapter. We see Emu grow black wings and fly toward Gunko. Emu's sword even transformed into a cannon to destroy an ice block, the same ice that, as Loki mentioned in the previous chapter, only Ragnir could break. This suggests that Imu and the world government don't actually know where the Galila giants are. Most likely Ragnar froze the giants either to protect them from an enemy or to preserve them until the fateful day. These giants are extremely dangerous and could be the key to awakening Pluton. If Imu knew their exact location, he would have easily destroyed both the ice and the Galila giants, but he didn't. It seems that the frozen giants in Punk Hazard are a secret known only to a few characters as well. The Straw Hats discovered them, but Vegapunk was likely the one preserving them there. There's also a high chance that Ragnar knew their location, and of course, one of the most important figures connected to this is Kuzan. I believe Aokiji knows about the frozen giants, which is why he was at Punk Hazard. He didn't just randomly appear to save Smoker from Doflamingo, he may actually be keeping an eye on those giants, possibly even protecting them from Marshal D. Teach. But who knows, maybe in the end Aokiji will be the one to reveal this information to Blackbeard. That, however, is a topic for another video. For now, let's return to Imu. Every panel, especially in chapters like this, holds a lot of meaning. In the previous chapter, we saw these details while Imu was approaching Elbaf. This seemed to represent Imu sensing Gunko while moving through the abyss, almost as if he were perceiving everything along the way from another dimension. Most likely, Imu cannot literally see through the eyes of Summers, Killingham, or any other Holy Knight. After all, 14 years ago, he didn't even know who killed Harold. However, it's clear that he can sense things. He was able to sense Loki's power, and as we see here, he can also sense his subordinates, including the frozen Gunko. This makes me even more curious. How was Nami able to feel the disturbance before the Abyss Mark even activated in Elbaf? I don't think that's just because of a change in the weather, and it definitely wasn't simply Haki. Even if Nami had awakened observation Haki, there were still far stronger Haki users in Elbaf than her, and yet she was the first to notice Imu. Maybe she has some kind of connection to Imu's Abyss Mark. Write down in the comments if you'd like to see a video about this topic. Before we talk about the most interesting part of the chapter, Imu versus Sanji, I want to mention a few things about Imu's design. Imu's design really does resemble that of a pirate. At the same time, he has similarities to Rocksteady Zebek, Loki, and Enel. He has a ring similar to Enel's, and the strange 3 skulls on his clothing remind me of Marshal D. Teach. His body texture is also very unusual. Maybe he isn't even a Lunarian. What if he's something else entirely, maybe even an alien? After all, he has a tail. And then there's his eye. Not to mention the fact that Oda keeps hiding his left eye. There's a strange tattoo-like marking there, similar to Monkey D. Dragon. We also know how important the left eye seems to be in One Piece. Monkey D. Luffy, Roronoa Zoro, Silver's Rayleigh, Monkey D. Garp, Sabo, and Shanks all have scars, while Dragon has a tattoo. Oda has hinted at this pattern multiple times in cover pages as well. So what is really going on with the eye of the King of the World? Maybe that's the key that will answer all the questions surrounding this mystery. Now let's talk about Imu versus Sanji. Just like Zoro, Sanji got completely overwhelmed. And similarly to Zoro, Sanji might also have some interesting panels with Imu. I don't think we've ever seen Sanji this shocked in a fight before, but it makes sense. He encountered someone like himself, someone who ignites fire with his foot, except in this case, it's black fire coming from a massive, almost monstrous being. I believe this moment will be very important for the future because I'm confident that Sanji will awaken black flames as well. He is called Black Leg Sanji for a reason. And this will probably happen once he awakens Advanced Conqueror's Haki. I believe he may have already awakened Conqueror's Haki to some extent. His ability to damage Killingham so heavily could be a hint, but once he reaches the advanced stage, that's when he'll truly be able to use black flames. Oda has hinted at Sanji's strange abilities before, and it's not just about his Germa genes. His eyebrow seems to hold some kind of strange power, no matter how strange that might sound. Eiichiro Oda has even mentioned during several SBS segments that Sanji's eyebrow channels a unique kind of energy. Queen confirmed that Sanji is not a Lunarian. Oda confirmed that Sanji's flames are not science-based. Diablo Jambe is connected to the word devil. Ifrit Jambe is connected to the word demon god. His flames are being framed as something demonic from the start. I'm really curious to see what Oda is building toward. But before that, I want to show you a very interesting pattern between Sanji's defeats and his power-ups. This was originally posted on Twitter by LP Trek. Usually, before a serious fight, Sanji gets weakened. Then the villain beats up one of the Straw Hats and is about to finish them off. At the last moment, Sanji saves them, and that's when the real fight begins. At first, Sanji struggles to defeat his opponent, but then he gets a power-up and ultimately wins with ease. This pattern happened at Eni's lobby when Sanji used used Diablo Jambe for the first time. The same thing happened in Wano when he used Blue Flames for the first time. Because of this consistent pattern, I'm confident the same thing will happen in the final war. His opponent could be Summers, Killingham, or even one of the Gorosei, and in that decisive battle, Sanji will unlock Black Flames for the first time and finally live up to his title, Blackleg Sanji. In the end, we see Loki standing in front of Imu. Luckily, there's no break next week, so we'll witness their clash very soon. As I mentioned in the beginning, I think neither Loki nor Luffy will stand a real chance against Imu. Yes, they are stronger than Zoro and Sanji, but I don't think the gap is that large. Imu didn't even pay attention to the wings of the Pirate King and one-shotted both of them. Even though Luffy and Loki are stronger, the outcome of their fights likely won't be any different. Just think about it. In previous arcs, Roronoa Zoro managed to defeat King, one of the strongest commanders we've seen. Then he went on to easily defeat the strongest CP0 agent with an awakened devil fruit, and even clashed with Saint Ethan Baron v Nujuro. But now he gets completely overwhelmed by Imu. Imu is on a completely different level. I don't even understand why he needs forces like CP9 or CP0, but yeah, that's part of the story. Anyway, no one is stopping him in this arc, and honestly, it's hard to see how the Straw Hats will survive. Right now, in Elbaf, there are 4 extremely dangerous individuals from Imu's perspective. Loki, the user of the Nidhogg Devil Fruit, Luffy, the sun god Nika, aka Joy Boy, Robin, the only person who can read the poneglyphs, and Chopper, who seemingly represents the forest god. If no one stops Imu, he could easily eliminate all of them from the story, so in my opinion, there are 3 possible outcomes. Number 1, Imu becomes too weakened or unstable to continue the fight, which would honestly feel like weak writing. Number 2, Shanks arrives with the red-haired pirates and buys time for the Straw Hats to escape. After all, this island is under Shanks' protection, and it's clear that he's been waiting for Luffy to awaken Gear 5 for 13 years. He wouldn't let Luffy die so easily. Yasopp should also care, at least a little, about Usopp. Nefertari Vivi finally appears and sacrifices herself to save the Straw Hats. It's clear that Imu values Vivi more than anyone else. Imu cut the posters of Luffy, Blackbeard, and Shirahoshi, and specifically ordered the Gorosei to bring Vivi to him. Also, if he's already defeated Luffy once, he could always deal with him later. But why is Imu seeking Vivi's body? I recently made a video about this, but now I want to share another interesting idea. Even though Vivi is considered one of Imu's oldest enemies, partly because she carries the Will of D and inherits Lily's legacy, the matter goes much deeper than that. It's something specific to Vivi and Lily alone, not to the entire Nefertari family. And it's not love. The secret within Vivi's body may be that she inherited a significant portion of Lily's bloodline and genetic traits, making her uniquely capable of interacting with or even controlling the poneglyphs. We know that Lily was the one who scattered the poneglyphs around the world. Perhaps this wasn't just a physical act. Maybe she was not a devil fruit user at all. It could have been tied to a special ability unique to her, allowing her to communicate with inanimate objects or even direct them. That could explain how such massive stones were distributed so precisely. After all, the Void Century was far more advanced than the world in the current timeline. This could explain why Imu wants Vivi's body, to reassemble the poneglyphs and permanently erase the truth that Lily spread across the world. Therefore, Nefertari Vivi could be the vessel required to revive Nefertari D. Lily's power. Otherwise, even if Imu truly loved Lily, which I believe he did, how would obtaining Vivi's body change the outcome of what happened 800 years ago? And also, the thing that interests me the most about Imu is, what does he actually want? What is his goal? He's already king of the world, yet all he seems to do is sit in the castle and play with butterflies. He's not even indulging himself the way the celestial dragons do. So what is he really after? Does he want to maintain his existence forever? If you want to explore a full theory on this topic and see more content about the Void Century, Imu, and Joy Boy, click the video right here. Thanks for watching. Bye.